I'm Wolf from Healing Wolf Coaching, here to walk with you through the desert of recovery and to hand you a little spring water as we go. So let's take a breath in through the nose, breathing in the twilight ocean, exhaling the day. We made it to another evening. Hopefully you're watching this in the evening. If not, you made it through yesterday. You've made it through everything so far. You're here. You're listening. You're tuned in. And a lot of people ask me when they find out what I do, especially people who are not coming to me for help, and they ask me what I do, and I say I'm a transformational coach. And they ask me, they're like, wow, what is that? It's kind of like in a traditional coaching mode, coaches will train athletes to become really skilled at doing certain things and to get their minds to be extremely present and in what's called the zone. In the zone, I'm doing the same thing with your unconscious mind, and that translates into your body, into sensations. And that puts you in a zone of being in the present, able to see opportunities, able to do things that benefit you and are good to have done and are healthy, and practicing states of mind, building states of mind that will serve you moving forward and become new forms of being. It's not just about I do this little thing in order to stop pain or whatever, stop pain or anxiety. It's about I'm becoming a different person. I'm having a different mindset where pain and anxiety and all this kind of uncomfortable stuff no longer can sway my mind. So as I move through life and I have stress, I have fear, I have any of this kind of stuff come up, I know what it is, I see it for what it is, and my mind is trained to stay present, to stay focused, to look for opportunities that are beneficial to me, and to make the best possible choice given not a fear from the past or a worry or a projection, but a very present state of mind. The Buddhists call it enlightenment, and it's a state of mind where you're able to focus on just what is in front of you and use all of your mind's resources to make the next best step, the next moment, so that mind can be calm and focused. I have a list of things that I work with people on. It's on my website, healingwolfcoaching.com, but I'm just going to read through them so that you'll know if some of these things are things that you'd like to work on, to improve, to shift, to change. Usually people come to me because they want to stop doing something, they want to start doing something, they want to feel more comfortable and have been experiencing sensations of chronic pain or anxiety or panic attacks. Sometimes people come to me because they want to look different, feel different, or process the world in a more beneficial and a more peaceful way. So I help people first and foremost with anxiety in all its forms. But anxiety is just a fear of a fear sensation. It's an ancient sensation that comes with these bodies. It's wired into us, and thankfully it can be downregulated and can disappear. It can definitely fade down to the point where it's pleasurable or amusing, which seems strange, but that's how I process it now. When I feel anxiety, I'm happy to have it. So anxiety, social anxiety, performance anxiety, which is something that I've experienced in the past, where you're doing something and you're getting extra protection, alertness, sensations, that your mind wants you to be strong and ready for this thing. And so I help people with that. Depression, it's a big one. In our country and in the world, depression has continued to ramp up. And Depression is something that is totally addressable, malleable, and can fade. Panic attacks seem like you're dying and the world's ending and you're drowning. There's a lot of ways to look at it. I've been through it. I've come through that on my own, and so I know how to address it, and I know the shifts and the mindset work that it takes to completely end panic. Fear is number one on my list of things that I address with clients, because fear is the fuel for things like chronic pain, insomnia, gastritis. Almost every condition is fueled by fear of the sensations of that condition. So I address fear. I address hypervigilance. I address low self-esteem. I address success blocks, where someone knows where they want to go, knows what they want to do, but there's some resistance, and we shift that, move things forward. Manifestation blocks. In many cases, manifestation blocks come up, and those manifestation blocks are based on deeper unconscious processing. So once we clear that processing, get things moving, things just manifest, opportunities show up. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. I really love that. Troubling thoughts, they come along with a lot of these other conditions, and they're just thoughts. So I work with clients to really see them for what they are and to move beyond giving them any power so that they're no longer of any significance. Compulsive habits, that's a good one. So unconscious mind drives all those habits, and we can unwind them, we can shift them, we can create new processing so they stop happening. Abandonment issues. Working on abandonment issues is a lot about releasing energy from past traumas. Loss. Loss is something that we all experience, that I myself have experienced on profound levels. And my father died about 3 years ago now. And so on a personal level, I've been through it. And it's one of the most beautiful things to address loss and grief, because you can still connect with the energy, and you can still connect with whatever and whoever you've been told that you lost. Separation, divorce, other issues like that, breakups. Another issue I address is jealousy. I address heartbreak. I address betrayal. I address trauma, which can release huge amounts of energy that can then be used for health and healing and manifestation and success. I address sexual abuse. I have specific trainings in this, and in some cases, sexual abuse can be fueling a bunch of other conditions. So once we clear the trauma of the sexual abuse, other things vanish. Weight loss can happen relatively quickly if that's the goal. Chronic pain can fade. Anxiety can fade. There are a lot of things that can fade. Rape is another one, another form of sexual abuse that I address. Phobias. Working with phobias is actually a lot of fun. We'll probably be laughing on the journey. I remember a phobia session where I cleared a snake phobia, and that was pretty fun. And this gentleman had an actual fight with a snake, and by the end of the session, he was like, "What snake? I'm not worried about snakes at all." And I later checked in with him and talked to him about it, and he's like, I can't even remember that snake. So it was pretty cool. Addiction, relapse prevention is one of my specialties, and I enjoy that because addiction can be devastating to not only the person experiencing it, but the families and friends and other innocent bystanders. So I love to work on relapse prevention. PTSD, I've worked with a bunch of clients with PTSD. attempted murder, war. PTSD is very addressable and very able to be shifted and cleared, and I'm happy to do that work. Anger is another one. Is all the emotions, any emotion you bring to me, we can work to address. Like rage. Rage is a driver of chronic pain. So when we're clearing some things like anger and rage, then other conditions can get better and better. Grief. I talked about that earlier. Grief is you don't need to keep grieving. A lot of traditional therapists say, oh, grief is natural, it's a process, it's sacred, it's important, you need to do it, you need to take time to do it, you need to give energy to it. And my process will reconnect you with the energy of whoever or whatever you're grieving, so that you can feel really good and reconnect. And when you reconnect, there's no longer a need for that grief and it falls away. Insomnia is really fun and interesting. I experienced it myself for about a year, and I have a lot of techniques that can clear insomnia. Gastric issues, I experienced that too. Intense gastritis, which came along with insomnia and chronic pain, all that. Smoking cessation, that's a powerful one. I've had a lot of family members who've had cancer from cigarettes, and I actually in college worked with the founder of Rapid Resolution Therapy to put together an event at New College called Tobacco Out, where we helped people with smoking cessation. Weight loss is one where usually it's just unconscious mind processing and keeping that weight on as a form of insulation, protection, a form of security, so to speak, and in unconscious mind's kind of like an insurance against future events. But we clear that, and sometimes the effects can be dramatic. I think the last weight loss client I had shed like 10 pounds in a couple weeks after the session. Eating disorders is one that I also personally experienced, and the work I do is very effective for that. Chronic pain, that's one of my specialties because I had a long journey with it and was bedbound for about a year, so I got a lot of techniques there, and I'm happy to walk with you on that journey of recovery from chronic pain or chronic fatigue, which I also experienced. There's some other fun stuff like writer's block or creative block. I'm also a creative coach, but that's a whole different realm. And I'm happy and I work with clients all the time with poetry books, with songs. So I just want to give you a little sample of the things that I work on and work with and shift and change and build new mindsets and nervous system patterns and unconscious mind patterns to move you in the direction you want to go. It's a gentle conversational journey, and the processes are powerful but also relatively effortless. So expect to come in laughing and have actually a lot of people have a good time. So head over to healingwolfcoaching.com and schedule a strategy call with me, a consult call. It's a free call, and you'll tell me, hey, I'm experiencing one of these things. What are we going to do? And I'll say, here's the plan. This is what I see we can do, and we'll get you better. Thanks for listening, and thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next call, the next video.